Welcome back. It's Media Day here on Renda Digital TV as we cover the West Shamokin Wolves, the last year a team that was 7-13, 6-10 in the Heritage Conference. Mike Cornetti, coach, with us today. On my far right is Max Long. He's a pitcher and center fielder. Braden Talmadge. Braden, what did you say you play? He's a first baseman, and Jude Olinger, infielder and pitcher as well. Coach, this ball club of yours has a lot of experience coming back.
Yeah, I mean, we're fortunate to have only lost one player last year. It'll be a big shoes to fill in order to replace him, but we've got a lot of young guys coming up, a lot of guys that got a lot of experience last year. I think that we're going to be able to hopefully play a lot of competitive baseball this year. Obviously, last year it was about the change in regime, new coach coming in, putting in a new mindset. This year we're looking to take that mindset and produce victories.
Coach, if you were to categorize your team or characterize them, is it a strong hit, good field type of unit? What are some of the strengths and weaknesses, things you know you need to work on, things you think you do pretty well?
Well, I think in any baseball situation it starts on the bump. I mean, you've got to be able to throw strikes, and I think we have a lot of guys that can do just that. We've got some guys who we feel pretty comfortable that are going to go take the bump and throw a lot of strikes. We have some younger guys that we think can come in and give us some purposeful innings whenever we need to, building up their opportunities when they take it. I mean, we've got just a team that I think is built to do a lot of things. I don't think we're going to be pigeonholed into one way of playing the game. I think we can play small ball. I think we have the ability to hit some gap power. We have the ability to feel comfortable in a 1-0 game as maybe being down 2, chasing another team. I mean, that's what I think returning all this experience for us is going to give us the opportunity to do this season.
Defensively, what do you do?
We stress position flexibility. I don't necessarily think that these guys who came out here today and said that this is what they play, I don't think that's a preference for them. We in practice, we have guys moving constantly. We preach defensive flexibility. So depending upon who goes on the mound, depending upon all the different factors that come in, injuries obviously that play a role, we think that we can put guys in positions where they can succeed, and we don't necessarily weaken ourselves in one position by putting someone somewhere else.
So much of what happens in the Heritage Conference is just that way. Guys have to play multiple positions, and coaches know that, and they put them in a position to succeed. In this off season, tell me about the workouts. We were talking with some of the other coaches about everybody plays multiple sports in this conference, and you don't get as much chance as you might like to over the winter months when they're playing other sports. Still, they have to take advantage of every opportunity. What's the off season been like?
For us, it started in the summer. We got into a couple tournaments, an international tournament that we played in, various different early fall workouts where we played a couple scrimmage games here and there, but then open gyms throughout the winter season. So when they weren't competitive in the basketball practice, they were coming with us, hitting the gym, hitting the weights, doing all kinds of things. So you can't be competitive in a heritage conference, which is full of good teams, by putting the gloves and bats down at the end of your season and then expect to come back and be on level that this conference has shown that it should be. And we look at that same competitiveness throughout our practice. I mean, we close every single practice with some sort of competitive game. We want that level of compete so that way we can simulate as much game reps in practice, so that way it's not the first time that we encourage that, or we encounter that, or it's not the first time that we allows us to feel comfortable when we're in those certain situations in the game time.
First week of this preseason has been a lot of indoor time because of the weather. Next week, the weather is supposed to be much, much better. How much of an opportunity have you had to get them outside?
Well, we're very fortunate. The Armstrong School District allows us to have turf. So we have that turf infield that we've been outside probably at least 3 times by now. Full usage of the outfield twice, so we can condense all of our different drills to just be on the infield if need be. So one day, like, we were hitting inside where we had the outfielders hitting first while the infielders were doing drills on the turf, and then just flip that around the second half of practice. So it gives us we like to think of a little bit of an advantage over some of our competition, but we don't look at that and say that's going to be the catalyst that throws us ahead of anybody. We don't take anybody in this conference for granted. We're just going to put our heads down, work as hard as we can, and play competitive baseball and make certain that the other teams are able to beat us and not help them beat us by base running errors and just fielding errors.
Well, you said it across the Heritage Conference. There's some pretty strong baseball played, isn't there?
Absolutely. I've been very impressed since I've come into this conference, and I think this is year 18 that I've been affiliated with West Shamokin Baseball. And, I was there before we entered the Heritage and through, and I've been really impressed with the quality of play, and the additions that we've had coming into the last couple of years have only solidified the quality of play that we encounter.
Right, Coach. Good talking to you. Maybe you'll switch seats there with Max, and we'll turn in the other direction here, and we'll talk to some of the other fellows. Jude Olinger is right next to me. Infielder, pitcher, talking about that position flexibility. And West Shamokin Baseball has been a really big part of your family's life for quite some time. And I know that baseball is really important to you, isn't it?
Yes, I've played it for many years now. My brother continued his baseball career at Penn State Du Bois, which I plan to do the same. It's very important to me because I take this game very seriously. It's been a fun game to play all my life.
So talk about playing the middle infield, particularly, which is where we see you quite often, and the ability to turn the pivot at second base when you're there. If you're at shortstop, it's an entirely different position, and the footwork's all different. For you, is it a big adaptation, or are you pretty solid in what you're doing?
You have to adapt to every position. Shortstop's one of the main key to the team. You have to be able to communicate to all of the players where they're going. You got to look at the outfield, make sure they're in the right positions for the right batters, and I think it's a different position than everyone else on the field, and I adapt to that and play my game.
As a pitcher, when you're on the mound, strengths, weaknesses, things you know you need to work on, things you are pretty solid with.
Hitting the strike zone is definitely the biggest key in pitching. Keeping guys off the bases, walks, kill us. We try to work on the walks, limit the walks. Throwing strikes and letting your field work for you.
Pick up a bat then. Tell me about going to the plate here in this Heritage Conference against the Heritage Conference pitchers. They're pretty tough.
Yeah, they are. You got to go into the plate appearance wanting to hit the ball. You can't look for a ball forward. Even with 2 strikes, you got to look to put the bat on the ball and hit it to right field.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Of course, we think of pitching coaches and talking about pitching. We think about fielding coaches that talk about fielding. Hitting is a really personal thing to people. Your stance, your approach is going to be different from some Braden's sitting right next to you. How do coaches help you to find what is going to work best for you, sort of unlock what you can do?
Coaches are all different. Anthony Rocco has changed my stance in the way I approach the plate. Looking for the strike, the first pitch. I didn't always take that. I always took that first pitch. Now I look to hit that first pitch. But he's got me loaded down in the stance, ready for any off-speed pitch that's going to come to me. He's really changed my plate appearance, and obviously it shows results in the batting average.
All right, terrific. Have a great senior season.
Thank you.
We're going to have the two of you switch seats, and meanwhile I'll swing back in the other direction. And here we find Max Long. He'll pitch. He'll play center field as well. And let's put you at the plate first. Same question I had for Jude. Hitting coaches deal with everybody with what they have, the package that they bring, and they look at you. They refine what it is that you do at the plate, make suggestions, but adapting those things. Breaking habits is sometimes not the easiest thing to do. How has it been for you developing from when you were a freshman to now as a senior?
Focusing on hitting, it's really a mental game. Some people get in their heads constantly, but people need to go up there with a clear mind, focus on hitting the ball up the middle, finding gaps, stuff that they can do for their team. I really just go up to the plate looking to do my job, really. But focusing on hitting,
Well, pitch selection is a whole big part of this as well, being able to determine, okay, in that split second, what's a strike? What's a good pitch for me to hit? Because sometimes what is a strike might not be the pitch that you want to swing at.
Yeah, I like to focus on my approach. If it's depends on the count. If it's a 0-1 count, I'm looking for maybe an off speed, or if it's an 0-2 count, I'm looking for fastball, something away. So, yeah, it really just depends on the approach. If you get in a bad count, like if it's a 1-2, you're looking for the fastball. Like you're looking for something to drive, not looking to hit the ball over the fence, just something to put it in play.
One of the things about going to the plate is, people might look at a batting average or home run total or whatever it might be as an indicator of success. Moving a runner along, though, is just as important, maybe giving up the at-bat in order to put a guy in scoring position. And I'm sure the coaches emphasize that with all of you, right?
Yeah, but the stats, at the end of the day, they really don't matter. What really matters is what you do for the team. Every day is a new day. You can show up to a game and go 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, and then the next game you can go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So it really just depends on going into each day like it's a new day.
You're looking for the W no matter what.
No matter what.
Put on a glove. Take me out into the field. Tell me about it.
Going out into the field, if we're playing center field, I'm just looking, getting my outfielders set up, ready for anything to happen at all times. Really just focusing on watching the pitcher pitch and then seeing where the ball goes at all times, making sure that I'm focusing on that baseball.
Making that call is your ball. If it's in the gap and you have the best shot at it, you have to call off the guy. The center fielder is really in control, isn't it?
Yes, the center fielder usually is the one that controls the whole outfield. Plus, I'm a pretty speedy guy. I can really get to any gaps in the outfield, but usually if it's in the air, I'm usually catching it.
Coach was talking about the Heritage Conference and how strong it is, and I know you guys look at that as well, and you might play summer ball with some of the guys on the other teams. They'll be on your team, and you never know who you're going against and who you're lining up with. That has to be an advantage, though, knowing the guys on the other teams as well as you do. There's some really good baseball played in this conference.
Yeah, there's amazing baseball players in this conference. I mean, every year the competition gets better and better. I've definitely have played with most of these guys in this conference, and it's been a fun time every time. But, hey, I'm just here to have fun and just focus on winning.
There you go. Max, congratulations on reaching the senior season, and good luck coming up.
Thank you.
All right, let's turn once more to the other side, and there's Braden Talmadge sitting next to me of the West Shamokin Wolves. Braden is also a guy that I know Coach has been working with you, and think of yourself from when you were a freshman to where you are entering this season and your development as a ball player. You're an entirely different guy, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't played baseball since 8th grade since I had Tommy John. I had a couple shoulder surgeries and hip surgeries, so this is my first year back out since 8th grade. So it's a whole new thing, a lot of learning to do from that, taking that time off. So,
how about that? That must be a really exciting time for you to finally get to play ball again.
It is. It's the game I love the most, and it's fun to be back and doing it again.
Yeah, well, take all those scars with you out onto the field, huh?
Yes, there's lots of them.
So what has it been like for you? We've only had a week of actual formal workouts, but you've had the winter to work on some things, and I'm sure that you're sort of waking up some old muscle memory.
Yeah, it's a lot of soreness and stuff, but I mean, I'll overcome it in a few weeks once my body gets used to it and stuff. But I mean, during the winter time, I planned on trying to get into the gym a lot and spending a lot of time. Then I had a little small injury that kind of eliminated that, but. So a lot of it, just the first week, is just getting back into used to playing sports and stuff. And
well, that being the case, you get to the plate, and it's been a while since you've looked a pitcher that has a mean intent coming at you. Tell me about that. You're facing your guys right now, but this season isn't so far off. You're going to have to ramp it up.
Yeah, I'll get used to it. I mean, I played baseball my life. I mean, I'm sure I'll catch on in a few weeks and stuff, but it's definitely going to be a lot different than what you see in practice compared to other kids stepping on the mound, throwing the ball a lot harder than what you see in practice.
Yeah, well, and plus the fact that you haven't played baseball for so long. These guys were at a certain level, same level you were before all the injuries happened. Now you see them with 3 or 4 years of development under their belts, and it has to be pretty impressive.
It is, yeah, to see them grow and stuff and how far they've come. Because, I mean, I played with these kids since I was back in 8th grade, all junior high, Little League and all that. So they've definitely grown, and, I mean, got to go and continue with it.
This baseball season probably means a whole lot more to you than it does to a lot of guys in this conference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, to get back and doing it again and stuff. So I mean, I look forward to spending time with these kids and hopefully making a legacy and just have fun with them.
And doing it as a West Shamokin Wolf. I know that it's a really proud school district. It's a really, really proud baseball tradition, too.
It is, yes.
So for you, entering into this season, maybe it's a little bit of a different feel than for some of the other fellows, but I know that you're really looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it and just enjoying the time and having fun being out there being a senior.
Well, we wish you the best and hope you get a lot of at-bats.
Yes.
The West Shamokin Wolves last season 7-13, 6-10 in the conference, ready for a brand new season in the Heritage Conference. You are watching Renda Digital TV, Media Day for the Heritage Conference.